It's Wednesday, March 26, 2014. I'm Rim.
It's really cold.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, warm today, and we're talking about Yamishibai. Scary urban legend, Japanese horror story anime on Crunchyroll.
I thought it's Yamishibai, not...
Yamishibai.
I don't think it's IE. I think it's Yamishibai.
Yamishibai.
闇芝居の時間だよ
Let's do this.
So yeah, we're back from Anime Boston. There was a time in an ancient past where we would review every convention we went to, but an average PAX is not significantly different enough from the previous PAX to say anything at length about it.
There's not a full episode's worth of things to say that we haven't already said multiple times in the past. So you can just go listen to an old episode of any particular convention, and you won't have to worry about there not being a new one.
Yep. But this Anime Boston, good Anime Boston. Few things were different. Few things were noteworthy. So as my news, talk a little bit about what happened there. So we did our 4 panels. They went great. Interestingly, the one that got the biggest line was the not all anime are what they seem. Scarily, people lined up way in advance for that, and they turned a bunch of people away.
Yeah,
and there was a queue of people hanging out outside trying to get in if anyone walked out.
It's like, why? Really?
That's the one they picked. But the funny thing was, unlike our other panels where half the audience already knew who we were and they were there just because of us, the people in this panel mostly didn't know who we were. So the power of choosing a provocative title once again is proven. Mm-hmm. If you want to get people to come to your panel,
what did people think was going to be at that panel that they wanted in so badly?
Not all anime are what they seem. Maybe they thought we were going to talk about anime that look like one thing, but really there's something else, which is kind of what we did.
Kind of.
Wasn't much of a bait and switch.
No.
Not really.
Whatever. So yeah, this Anime Boston, notable differences from previous Anime Bostons. First of all, the Jam Project was the musical guest, right?
Yep.
And they did 2 concerts. On Friday night, they did all Jam Project together, and then on Saturday, they did individual whatevers, that's new. It's they did so much concert compared to other musical guests that have appeared at conventions. But we didn't go.
Yeah, the thing is, we thought, we won't be able to go because we didn't arrive until Friday morning.
Yep.
So we wouldn't be able to get the wristbands. But it was kind of sad that there were staff going around desperately trying to get people to take the wristbands or whatever to go to the concerts.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Usually, when you have that kind of wristband situation, it's people will line up like crazy, but I guess they didn't need to, I don't know. I don't know why they did that. It's they never really had a problem in recent years. I guess they're just copying other conventions.
Because, for example, here's 2 scenarios. You have a good system to deal with a huge crowd, and a huge crowd doesn't show up. No problem. You have a huge system, and a huge crowd shows up. No problem. A huge crowd shows up, and you don't have a good system. Disaster.
It wasn't a disaster preview. I mean, they just lined up and went in. The room, I've never seen the concert for Anime Boston fill near capacity. So,
well, that space is actually pretty big.
That's what I'm saying.
I wish somehow that space existed inside of the BCEC.
I wish they would remove the seats from that space.
Yeah, when PAX removed the seats, that space held a metric ton of people.
Right. Then you wouldn't need to do any sort of ridiculous. You couldn't possibly have a crowd big enough.
But basically, every year, Anime Boston since the bombings has had ridiculous security.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point that it actually significantly affected our ability to enjoy the con and our ability to record our panels. Mm-hmm. So Friday, we literally almost missed running our first panel because getting through security was such a hassle.
Well, and the bus was a little bit late.
Yeah, the bus was a little late.
But mostly the bus was late, but there was a little bit of traffic, but that would have been fine. The bus also decided to stop at a Wendy's for no reason.
Yeah, so Bolt Bus,
I have to write an email to Bolt Bus, and I'm going to say, listen, there is no reason for pretty much any of the trips between New York and Boston or New York, D.C. or New York, Philly to ever stop anywhere ever.
It was telling
that
the bus...
make those trips in one shot. There's a bathroom on the bus.
The bus was running about 15 minutes late, and they stopped at that Wendy's for 15 minutes.
And
And then, of course, 3 people get back on the bus reeking of cigarette smoke, so that made it just all the more enjoyable.
Right, and then, they... Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But the security was bad for a lot of reasons. One, it wasn't just like last year where they kind of glanced at my bag and walked me through. They sat there and made me open every individual zipper inside and outside of my bag, and they rifled around every pocket. It took almost 5 minutes at one point.
It was so inconsistent. Sometimes they'd just be like, they'd look and they'd be like, all right, go. And sometimes they'd be like, I'm going to pretend to look like I'm looking through everything and then not actually really look through everything. So it's fake security. And then, of course, at like one entrance, like the one that goes to the street, they've got like metal detecting wands.
Yeah, they did metal detector pat-downs of every single person who walked in through entrance A.
But not through any other entrance ever.
And when I asked the people there, I asked the security people, I think I even got a video of this on my glass because I actually recorded video of a lot of the security. Do you guys realize that they're not doing this at any of the other entrances? And they looked at me and they looked at each other and they actually looked kind of shocked.
Right. They're like,
But nothing changed.
No.
Also, those people, I want to point out, they rifled through my bag for multiple minutes and they gave me the metal detector pat down. The metal detector went off like 4 times on me and they did not investigate that at any point.
No.
In fact, it went off on what I had in my back pocket was a huge lithium-ion battery.
Well, I don't think they care if you have a battery.
But they didn't look to see what it was. They basically took the metal detector, they waved it around me, it went off on a bunch of spots, and they ignored it. So, like I said on Twitter, if you're gonna have security theater, at least put some shit backstage, guys.
What was the joke? Right? What theater had the longest?
I was very proud of this joke. Which theater had the longest lines at Anime Boston this year?
The security theater.
Oh,
there you go.
So that was bad, but it was manageable. But as a result, once we left the convention center, like to get dinner, we really didn't want to go back into the con. So we almost
right.
didn't.
It's like a pain in the ass to go back in. So it's like once you're in, and once you're out, you're out. Whereas before, I'd be like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
So I either had to carry my equipment with me all day or just not bring it. So we basically stopped videoing our panels.
Yeah, because we had to carry like a tripod and all this shit through the security.
Yeah,
huge pain in the
multiple
ass.
bags with a lot of equipment that they're gonna rifle through now, apparently.
Right. It's like, well, I just won't carry it in. I carried in as little as possible.
But then it got worse. So on Sunday, the line to get in was literally, you just couldn't get through it at first. Like it was blocking
We didn't
everything.
even go in on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't go in. So the main reason we didn't go in is because you couldn't get in with security. They wouldn't let people with big bags in at all.
Is that what it was?
Yes, and
I thought there was a pain in the ass to check them. So
no, so they
everyone-
wouldn't. So if you had a big luggage, they basically just wouldn't let you in. And if you had a luggage that for whatever reason they would let you in, they went through it. So people had to check their bags. The hotel wouldn't let you check directly because
Right.
there's so
I
many
mean,
people.
Anime Boston every year that I've been there has turned the registration room in the hotel into sort of a free bag check room for all the attendees,
Which,
right?
brilliant.
Which is great. But the thing is, because of the security, that room was much more heavily utilized than in past years. So, like, to even get into the con on Sunday, and there isn't much con on Sunday, you had to check your bag in there and then get through unless you're staying in another hotel or something. But even then, you're probably checking out on Sunday. It's not a con where you're going to check out Monday. So, yeah. It made Sunday, like, not worth it to go into the con on Sunday.
Like Saturday
Unless
night.
you're, like, someone who lives in Boston walking off the street.
So it was unprecedented. Usually we show up at cons Thursday night. We leave like late Sunday afternoon. I don't think I'm ever going to go to Anime Boston on Sunday again. Like, we just won't do panels on Sunday. We won't.
Yeah,
we'll
it's
just
like we
leave.
showed up sort of late-ish Friday, like middle of the day, and we didn't do anything at the con at all on Sunday. We just ate and left town.
So as a result, I gave my badge away to our waitress.
I was just going to give her my badge.
But
right?
you wanted to keep it for
Right,
sentimental
but
value.
then she actually reminded me, like, does it have sentimental value? And I'm like, shit, I guess I do have every convention badge ever, and that will break the streak, won't it?
Do you have your OhioCon 2002 badge?
Probably.
Yeah, I think I do too. So this is the only badge I don't have. And I took an empty sleeve and I wrote on a piece of paper, gave badge to waitress at Trident Cafe. So I'll
that's good
remember
enough.
that happened.
Good enough.
Also, she knows who we are. She might email us and be like, hey, I went to the con.
Maybe.
And if
maybe
she does,
didn't.
then I'll ask her to mail my badge back. I'll be like, I'll give you $1 if you mail it back to me.
Yeah.
I'll pay for your postage.
We'll see you next year at the Trident. Or actually, we can go back there during PAX, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, especially because
unlikely.
we couldn't get a hotel anywhere near PAX.
Well,
but
our hotel isn't near the Trident either.
yeah, it's basically the worst possible location.
That's
so.
fine.
The only other bad thing, and we're trying to get the bad stuff out
Mm-hmm.
first because Anime Boston was still fun, is that they've always had problems in the connected hotel with the elevators but it was kind of
Elevator party.
it was especially bad this year.
Right.
Worse
Well, it's
than
not
I've ever
Anime
seen
Boston's fault necessarily,
No.
right? It's the hotel has bad elevators. So did that MagFest hotel. So have a lot of hotels, that have conventions in them. They can't handle people, they're not designed for all these people to go up and back and forth to their rooms constantly.
So my advice to all of you, I'm not going to tell you our secrets, but
Actually, this is an Anime Boston of secrets, right? We had a secret breakfast, which has
Yep.
always been there. We had a secret entrance to get into the con with a minimal security line,
Yep.
right? We had a secret way to get up and down the building besides waiting for an elevator,
Yep.
right?
that was a pretty good way. That was the only way I was able to get up and down the elevator at the disastrous Anime Central, 2003?
Right.
2003 or 2004, that Anime Central. Good God.
There are just so many secrets at this Anime Boston. It was the convention of secrets.
It was also the secret of where the fuck are Rim and Scott? Because when we weren't doing our panels, we literally just left. I went to one event at the entire con. That was Mike Toole's Anime Hell.
I went to Anime Hell.
So
It was hellish.
good things about the con. Our panels were very well attended. The stuff, everything went great on that front, other than like weird contractor running the panel room in the hotel, who, despite the con and Lou very specifically saying VGA, which is what every projector in the world anywhere uses, this guy was all super weird. He was like, oh, I don't have VGA. Oh, I can't run the cable to the table because I got to get out like 50 cables to do that. Just give me your slides and I'll use my Mac here to display them. Oh, what? You have a PDF? I don't have PDF reader.
Well, he does. I mean, it's a Mac. It has preview.
Yeah, but he was like really resistant to the PDF. He's like, what do you mean you don't have PowerPoint? What? Like this guy was just really kind of weirdly
I guess for some
adversarial.
reason in the hotel they have to have union guys do it, and in the convention center, Anime Boston people do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll talk to the con on the side, but yeah, basically
I'm pretty sure there's probably some rule they can't have the Anime Boston people do it in that hotel. They have to.
Yeah,
use
but the trouble
those
is, Lou
union
sends out
guys.
an email that says use VGA. You can plug your laptop in on the table.
Unless you're in Constitution or in one of the hotel ballrooms.
Yep. So if
right?
you're in the hotel, you're basically fucked and got to just bring enough stuff to make do. It actually made our panel really hard to do.
You're
because,
lucky your laptop had mini display port.
Yeah.
Which I thought it had regular display port, but it didn't.
Yep. But even then, like, we're also lucky I had a clicker.
Yeah.
And we're lucky. Well, we're not lucky. The main trouble was we plan all our panels assuming that we'll have a monitor screen to look at on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have that. So we couldn't read the text easily on our panel.
I had to keep looking up to the left. And,
And the whole point
it only really mattered for that panel.
Yeah, the whole point of that panel is that we don't know what's on the slides ahead of time.
Right. That's
So,
the only panel that's weird.
but yeah, Anime Hell was great. And also, Mike Toole has inspired us because we used to give everyone we knew
You
at
want to
Anime
shake hands
Cons-
with danger?
We gave oh my God, shake hands with danger.
Danger.
We used to give everyone at AnimeCon shit for just not having their shit together. And Anime Hell was literally the cleanest, smoothest, most polished Anime Hell I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he played the videos. They just played in a row without seeing any wallpapers or backgrounds or fussing with computers.
Yep,
or
he had the
anything.
timing set. He could pause it and do his commentary in between. It was brilliant.
Yep,
And
that's how it's done.
he leapfrogged us. We've said for years we're going to buy a lavalier system and just bring it to cons.
He
So we don't have
bought
to-
one. He bought a
Yeah.
cheap lav on Amazon, but he had the receiver and stuff. So
Yep, and the con let him do it. So stay tuned. Coming convention, Scott and I might be wearing the same microphones that TED Talk people wear.
they're expensive.
Oh my God, we're gonna spend more
They're
money.
like $300 each, and that only counts the microphone part.
This
not the other
microphone
parts.
kit will cost more than the gigantic Mackie we use to do Geeknights.
Costs more than a 4K video camera.
Yep. So exciting times there, Mike Toole. You've inspired us, and also that was a great Anime Hell.
Good hell. Well, it's hell. Right?
It's as good as a hell can be. It's hellish.
Yeah.
Your Kipo to Jikoku. The cosplay situation was lot of pony, lot of kill la kill.
Yeah, there was.
Lot of kill la kill.
I mean, there was plenty of it, right? There was definitely not a shortage.
I think
but
My
it
Little
wasn't,
Pony was the majority still.
It wasn't like, yeah, there was a lot, but it wasn't some like ridiculous dominating percentage. It's not like in the conventions of old. Like for some reason, I didn't count them, right? So I have no statistics to back this up. But in like the Naruto heyday,
Oh my
it
God.
felt like a good 25 to 50% was Naruto.
I remember, and I think I have a picture
Nowadays,
of it.
it's like there's so much. It's like, oh, we got 10% Kill la Kill. That's a lot.
I was at
Or like
Otakon,
5%.
and they had the Lodos War meetup, and there were like 9 deedlets. But yeah, a lot of Attack on Titan.
These are like 20, 30 Vash the Stampedes.
Yeah. But the Attack on Titans were good. Kill la Kill is special because that show, just by what it's about, kind of is designed for cosplay.
It's about cosplay.
Yeah. So there were.
I even saw. Did you see Pajamas Ryuko?
I saw that. I saw every form of Ryuko and every form of Mako.
Fighting Goku uniform Mako.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I saw Goku uniform Mako,
So did you
Mako
see-
all over the place. Two of them at
Someone
least.
on the internet took cosplay photos, which were Elite Four group cosplay photos.
Yep.
Anytime the Elite Four was in a group, and they took whoever was being Gamagori, and they sort of selected them with a lasso and scaled the Gamagori up
appropriately.
and pasted him back with a movement with a content aware paste in Photoshop.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
So it looks like he's huge.
Oh my
And they
gosh.
found any Elite Four, group shots. They did that. It's hilarious.
That's so great. There were a lot of Harume Nuis too, which I was very happy
There was
about.
a lot of Nui, which is interesting. It's
because
like
Nui's a creepy
that
fucking character.
character is really that popular.
I think so. I like her a lot.
I didn't see any Dr. Matui, which is what we should do.
Yeah. You know what? It's basically the same costume as Dr. Wily.
Yeah, reuse your old scientist man costume.
Yeah, Aramaki, get the same wig, basically. Just frazzle it a little bit more.
I could try being some of those.
I didn't see a single. No, I did see one Ragyu. I did not see any of like the
I didn't
sewing
see any
club.
Ragyus whatsoever.
I didn't see any of the
no tennis club.
Yeah, no cat, no
person,
two stars except Mako.
Yeah. Also, the athletic club Elite Four guy. I mean, there was at least one or two of him, but that's the least popular Elite Four guy apparently.
So we did another thing, and we'll have coverage of this later. We did some cool stuff at the con, some experimentation for future cons, but we asked a lot of people around the con some questions, and Kineticon, as another con they all go to, was surprisingly really high on the list.
Well, it's geographically close.
It is.
So, and
But
we're
at the
talking
same
to
time, it's-
cosplayers, and Kineticon has a lot of cosplay. So.
But at the same time, we talked to one guy, and we were like, blah, 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 Kineticon. He's like, where's that? Oh.
the moon. It's on the moon.
But we asked people like what anime they're into. Most of the people we talked to named a wide array of anime, except the one guy who was like, Soul Eater, Naruto, Darker Than Black, Blood Lad, whatever.
People are all over the map in terms of their favorite animes.
But something beautiful happened. The last question we asked everyone was, so what is Homestuck? And without fail, every single one of them responded like this.
Well, some people were like, I don't know. Some people were like, yeah, it's a webcomic. I don't want to explain anymore.
But there was just this, if they legit didn't know, they said, I don't know. But everyone else, even if they said, I don't know, had this sharp intake of breath before.
To even describe what it is like this labor, right? And that tells you everything you need to know about what it is.
So the last thing that it was kind of funny is that we did our fundamental anime panel, which is basically a recycle of, we have a formatted panel that's basically, here's a list of anime we want to recommend, and we have a generic title for it. So we did fundamental anime, which is just to take on anime you should see. So some website covered it and gave our list, which is cool.
Yeah,
Totally
I guess
cool.
there was someone in the room who writes or submitted to some link bait website that just just tries to get content to get clicks and whatever, right? And so they did a write-up of that panel, and it's basically like top 10 animes. Oh my god, right?
Which is cool.
Which is
but,
what our panel is.
It removed some of the nuance of our recommendations. So, for example...
Yeah, it's like it's someone who sat in the
they
room.
updated it. It no longer says started the magical girl genre for Utena.
Okay.
It now says galvanized and served as inspiration for count. Okay. So
I don't know if that's 100% true.
it's better than started.
Sure.
So they've
But it's like
updated
someone
it.
just sat in the room and just basically paraphrased and wrote whatever.
Which is actually 100% cool.
It's fine if they do that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But it was funny that I got a lot of tweets.
Apparently, Rim is like making a big deal out of this. I'm like, it's just some link bait website. Why is everyone freaking out?
Who doesn't make it a big deal about it?
You're talking about it.
Yeah,
It's
because
it's not even worth noticing. It's
because
like,
it's funny to watch someone paraphrase us and seeing sort of how the filter breaks down very rapidly. Or like on the list, like for example, if you just look at the list of anime we recommended Damako Dobutsu. It's like, really? That's a fundamental anime? And it's not. No. Because when we recommended that, we recommended it as like, this is an example of these short format shows that nobody would think to watch. Like this weird stuff. Kind of like the show we're reviewing today. But yeah, all in all, good panels, good con, other than the security theater bullshit. If the security continues, like if it's just as bad next year as it was last year, honestly thinking about reconsidering continuing to attend Anime Boston, because I'm just not cool with what's going down in the Heinz.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we went, and it's like the 4 panels we did were really good, and that whole part was great, but everything else about it was sort of like, there's good things going on, but the amount of effort required to go there, you know, pay for a hotel room and such, it's sort of not necessarily worth it.
Yep. And the security kind of just really pushed it over the line into got to reevaluate if we're going to continue to go every year.
Yeah.
But Anime Boston has almost no control over that. You got to complain to the city of Boston.
Yeah, we gotta write letters to the mayor of Boston.
Because I point out, PAX does not have this problem.
No, and they're in Boston as well.
Yep. Also, other similarly sized events do not have this problem.
Nope. Okay, so just a quick news that is not Anime Boston. The MoCA is coming up April 5 and 6 in New York. We go to that shit every year. You know, there's some drama surrounding it since that Society of Illustrators acquisition and whatever. But
most people we know who used to go aren't going anymore. They didn't sell all the tables right away.
Yeah,
whatever. A lot of people
whatever.
are really down on it. We'll
No,
go.
none of that stuff matters. What does matter is the guest list, right? And usually the guest list for MoCA is like, who really, you know, it's a bunch of indie people. Maybe some of them are really cool, but they've got like 8 panels at this convention.
Yeah.
It's not a real, you know, it's like, what does a guest mean? It means autographs and you see the person, maybe you buy their book that just came out, something like that, right? But on the list is a very important person who's hot right now. Fiona Staples, artist on Saga.
Ah.
So it's like someone who would be at a real comic convention.
Yeah. Is that
gonna
a much
be
better format comic convention?
Right, you can actually go see her. So it's like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Somewhat more reason to go.
I'm still excited about MoCA, partly because I just take the subway to it. It's right there.
I know, right? What convention is better? You could have a really crappy convention if I can take the subway to it.
Yeah, if I can take the subway to your con, I'm probably going to your con. Granted, I skipped the last recess, but...
I skipped a lot of recesses.
Yeah, you and your Netrunner.
Netrunner is much better than recesses.
So things of the day. This is a compilation video, but it's a compilation video of dogs who have had their beds stolen by cats reacting to this situation.
Just hit the cat and then get in the bed.
Yeah, some of the dogs are nice.
Bite the cat to death and then sit in the bed.
Yeah, so they're nice. Like, if you're in my bed, am I going to bite you to death? No, I'm going to be like, get the fuck out of my bed. But it's funny.
I bark at you real fucking loud, and if you're still in the bed, then I'll bite you.
Yep.
But
it's
a dog,
funny.
it can't really say,
Some
get
of the
fuck
dogs,
out.
like one dog is about the same size as the cat, and he doesn't want to hurt the cat, so he grabs the bed and starts like shaking it and rolling it around, like trying to knock the cat out of it. And the cat's just like, fuck you. I ain't moving.
He claws into the bed.
Yeah, he's just like, I ain't moving.
Latches on with his cat claw.
It's good stuff.
All right. So, you know, we rag on soccer a lot, and rightfully so.
Football.
It's a broken sport because of many reasons that we have discussed often.
Yep.
But if it was fixed, right, it could be a great sport. It's basically hockey on big grass with feet if you just fucking fix it, right? So soccer does have good moments, and it could have even more good moments. But here's an example of one of the great moments of soccer in an awesome video. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. The only thing that would make this better is if after that second bit, if he just ran over and kicked that guy in the nuts.
Maybe. But yeah, this is the kind of thing, if soccer was always like this and didn't have all of the diving and penalty kicks and other horse shit, I would watch it all the goddamn time.
Well, you know what? It's like if all of basketball was like the last 30 seconds of basketball.
Exactly.
Meta moment. The book club book is Wool. I'm most of the way through it.
I finished it a while ago.
Yep. All I'm going to say is I expected it to be X, Y, and Z, and it was, but it had one twist that I did not expect.
How far are you along?
3/4 of the way through.
All right.
The twist came way before that, though.
Yeah.
There's a twist where a guy sees something happen, and then goes to react to that in the secret place. And what he does to react to it was this isn't about what I thought it was. like it's about what I thought it was, but it's crooked slightly so in a
Yep.
direction I literally just did not see coming.
Yep. I didn't think, oh.
Yo, yeah, I think I know what your O is too.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. It's about it. It's a pretty good book.
It's okay.
You should probably read it. It's short. You can just blow through it.
I blew through real fast.
Yeah. We did a bunch of panels to Anime Boston. Someone uploaded video, I'll link to it, of one of them just from the audience.
Okay.
Might coordinate with some of the people who videoed it to get the video that other people took, and maybe I'll edit it together and do a ghetto version of what we normally do.
But the video that we took plus their video equals...
Yep. But sadly, like I said, because of Anime Boston security, we did not use any of our high-def kit. So there's going to be no high-quality video of our panel like you're used to.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
They're mostly panels that people have seen before.
Yeah.
You should find us on the internet, like our IRC channel or Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, website, forum, everywhere that exists on the internet. Come find us. We are there. YouTube, Twitch, every place.
Yep. I'm also going to take a moment to plug something, because if you scroll down through this Kickstarter, there's a tiny spot where you'll see my name referenced.
Whoa.
That's like Z-list celebrity right there.
We're already Z-list celebrity.
No, we're like Y, maybe W. We're like W at list at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, the Starfighter comic, kind of a porny comic. It's all about sexual tension and boys
Between
in space.
cute boys in space, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
you know
comic.
what? If I was a girl, I would be all about it.
Yep, or the right kind of
if
guy.
someone wants to make a comic, sexual tension, cute girls in space, I will read that.
Almost the opposite of Space Dandy. But this Kickstarter is pretty rockin', and the kinds of people who listen to Wednesday Geek Nights probably might be interested in this for reasons that will become apparent if you read the Kickstarter.
If you're the kind of person who watches boy swimming shows,
yeah, if you watch
you should
free,
kickstart this.
or if you like Tokimeki boys side or girls side, then yeah, this is up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we watched this anime, Yamishibai. Basically, this is the kind of anime that we would recommend like on our bite-sized anime panel. It's one of those short shows, not that many episodes. The episodes are under 4 minutes long.
At least the opener is just ridiculously short, so it's not a case where the opener and closer are longer than the episode, but the episode is ridiculously short.
Yep, and the closer is just this sort of forgettable Vocaloid song, so you can just skip it.
It's weird that they used Vocaloid, right? Like I noticed, I'm like, oh, Hatsune
It's
Miku,
weird.
huh? All right.
I would never say that anything about this show is weird except for the show itself.
Yeah.
Also, I love the crap out of this show.
It's okay.
Well, so the best way I can describe it is that if you liked folk tales from Japan, but you wanted stories where everybody's fucked, set in the modern era, that's what this show is.
It's pretty much what it is, yeah.
It's just a
The
series.
art style is really interesting.
Well, the art style is based on this old style of storytelling in Japan, where you'd have a stage or like a little tiny stage, and you'd have paintings of scenes, and
Yep.
you'd pull the cards up or pull the scrolls up.
And that's the guy you see at the beginning is a guy who does that, or
Yep.
used to do that back in the day.
That dude is sufficiently creepy.
So it's like in the U.S. or wherever they had puppet shows. Well, that's what they had in Japan. Instead of they had that.
Yep. So basically, this guy appears at a children's playground every day at 5. I
And
think
he
that's
tells
when it
them
was
a
on.
creepy ass story, and
Yep.
that's the episode. Is the creepy ass story.
And these stories are all they're either based in Japanese myth or based in Japanese urban legends.
So a lot of them might be more relevant if we knew the urban legends or myths, but because we don't, I feel like I'm missing a little bit, but I'm not missing much. It's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
If you've seen a lot of anime or know anything about Japan, you'll vaguely recall that a lot of these seem like they're based on something you've heard of before, like the Umbrella Goddess,
Yep.
who makes possibly the second creepiest sound I've ever heard anything make ever.
I guess Rims watched all the episodes. It didn't take long, but I only watched like half of them,
And I'm going to say
which
this.
is still enough.
It's hard to phase me.
I'll watch the rest later.
It's hard to scare me. This show does an amazing job of bringing back that feel when you're a kid and someone's telling you a scary story, like a legit scary story for your age. This show presents that sense of menace and foreboding better than most things that call themselves horror ever have.
I didn't really feel any of that.
You didn't watch all of them. Watch Tomonari-kun.
It's very hard for me to get scared of anything. But it is what this does is you ever be in a situation where like, you know, I guess if you have an imagination whatsoever, right? It's like maybe you'll be in your kitchen downstairs at dark at night and you'll imagine something. And it's like, you won't actually be scared, but it's like you just, you know, you imagine some creepy shit. And of course, like maybe a monster in the fridge or some shit, right? And then you go open the fridge, it's like, yeah, it's just the fridge, dude, right? Well, a lot of these episodes just like, what if that thing you imagined? Nope, it's there. Every time it's there.
Like you're on an
Whatever
elevator.
that thing you imagine, yep, it's there.
Like you're on an elevator and it's going down and it stops at a department store and it stops at just like an empty,
Hell.
weird floor. And you're like, and everyone else on the elevator gets off on this weird, empty floor. And then the door closes and it just keeps going down. And while you're thinking, what the fuck, the door's just fucking open on hell.
Yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah.
like whatever scary shit you can imagine. And sometimes, I guess some of the episodes are like, someone did something wrong. And it's not necessarily bad.
Just
but
wrong.
Just wrong. Like, yo,
Like in Tomonari-kun, the girl basically, her mistake was saying, I promise, as opposed to no.
Yep.
Like, I'll come back and play with you later, I promise. The moral is never promise anything creepy, anything.
Yep.
If something's creepy, do not promise it shit.
And then, you know, someone does something wrong and then they get haunted or whatever, right? But some of them are just like, someone is there and there's a creepy thing. And it's like, is there really a creepy thing? Yes. The
Yep.
end. Oh, I'm late at work. Let me go use the copy machine. Oh, the copy machine, something's freaky's happening with it. What the fuck is wrong with this copy
To
machine?
quote Dave Riley.
Oh, it's haunted. The end.
Yeah, but to quote Dave Riley, the moral of that one is if creepy shit happens in your copy machine late at night all alone, push that shit out the window.
I know. I mean, I can't understand in some of these episodes, like, why the person does what they do.
I can understand it perfectly because
It's like,
here's why. Let's say you are in a situation like that where you're at work late at night, which I can't imagine. So already that's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Let's say you're there for whatever reason, like you go to make a copy and weird crap happens. While part of your
I'm
brain
not an
might,
anime character.
yeah.
If I'm an anime character, I'm acting completely differently than if I'm in the real world. These
Yeah,
people are
but I'm
acting
saying- but
the
I'm
way
saying-
they should in the real world, which is not how you would act if you were an intelligent anime character.
Exactly. But in the real world, when something creepy happens and you're an adult or you're intelligent, you don't immediately go, oh my God, there's a demon in this copier. You think, that's weird. And you're scared a little bit maybe, but you don't act like you're scared. Like you think, what if something's creepy? But you don't think,
Why is this copier full of fucking hair? There's probably like a giant hairball or a dead cat in it or something.
Yep. And then you blink and it's gone. I must have imagined it. All these stories are when I must have imagined it is not what happened.
But I know, but see, being a viewer, I know that I'm watching a scary show, so you're not I can't disbelieve the
Yep.
right, the actions of the person. Anyway,
Yep. But the actions of the person, like some of them are kind of funny and they remind me of like scary stories to tell in the dark, like Zanbai episode 2, where
yeah.
basically the dude just sees a bunch of people giving him the bonsai cheer and he's remembering it as he's leaving somewhere. And he's like, actually, come to think of it, it's almost like they were doing it backwards. Like they were doing it down instead of up. And then the cabbie's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of my cab. Oh my God.
You're gonna die real soon.
And the episode's Zanbai. So like, if you give the bonsai chair, that's good. But if someone gives you the Zanbai chair, you're gonna die.
And why did they give that guy that chair?
Because they're assholes.
Yeah, it's just like he was a guy who got hurt in the woods. He went to a hospital, and then some old guys at the hospital conspired to curse him for no reason.
Yeah.
They were
Well-
just jerks.
Well, isn't that the moral of a lot of Japanese myth? You're fucked.
Well, no, it's usually. I mean, if you watch
Well,
folktales,
you're fucked unless you follow the arbitrary rules that you didn't know.
right? But the nice folktales, it's like the evil jerk off neighbor is the one who gets fucked, and you, the nice person, gets rewarded, right? But meanwhile, here it's just you're just a normal person. You're fucked.
Yep.
Haunted shit get you.
You're fucked unless you take the world as you see it and as is presented to you seriously. So when something actually creepy happens, you treat it as creepy. And if some crazy old lady tells you to follow some rules, you follow all of those rules. And if you don't,
Yeah, I mean, there was the episode with the with the family that has to laugh to keep the demon away.
Yep.
And then they stop laughing, and then the demon comes. Right?
Yeah, but
It's
you
like,
know
oh,
what?
you
The moral
failed
of
to
that one
follow the
was
rule.
they should have told the kid what they were doing and had him laugh with them. Like,
Right.
or the one where they locked the kid in the shed to hide from the umbrella goddess.
I didn't
It's
see
like,
that one.
you could have explained to him why you were doing this. You could have told his friend not to come and fuck it all up.
Yep.
But you know these are all going to be bad endings. You just like anytime someone tells you a ghost story, it's going to be a bad ending. The spoiler of knowing that they're all bad endings almost makes the tension. Well, no, it does make the tension way higher than if you didn't know that.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of them don't even really show the bad ending. It's basically just, yep, there's a monster at the end.
Yep. I think the creepiest one is actually episode 11 or episode 12, Video, which is the classic urban legend of kid took a video of a graveyard, but when you watch the video, there's something in the video.
Uh-oh.
And
It's your
episode
camera
12.
strap. It got in front of the lens.
Yep. But I was listening to Dave and Joel, and they thought the same thing I did about that episode. They're like, all right, so your fucking friend comes over and says, hey, instead of studying, let's watch this creepy video that kills people. And the video is like a VHS wrapped in tape to prevent you from watching it. I think Joel was the one who was like, yeah, if someone starts unwrapping that video, take it from him and just break it.
There was. I think I watched something that was like how it might have been one of those how movies should have ended or something like that, right?
Yep.
And someone, I think it was Scream, and it was like, hey, you want to watch that video that like you die after you watch it? And the guy says, sure, and he takes the tape and he just smashes it in a million pieces.
Who would want to watch that? Why? Why did you even take that video?
Done.
But episode 12, Tominari-kun, is so close in aesthetic to the scary stories to tell in the dark. And especially because of what Tominari-kun is and looks like, it's pretty legitimately creepy. Because that one is the kind of thing that you could almost envision, like, happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see experiencing something like that and acting exactly the way the girl acts, because that's the rational thing to do, is act the way the girl acts. But when that fucking shadow appeared in her house, that was actually pretty creepy. I really like this show. It was put out by TV Tokyo by a bunch of people who seem to be pretty not noteworthy in the anime world.
I mean, I'll probably watch it just because it's so short. It's not. Why not watch
It's
it?
13 episodes. They're 4 minutes long.
That includes the opener and the closer. That 4
It
minutes.
includes the opener and not the closer.
Oh, okay.
It's 4 minutes and 30 seconds if you want to do the old RIT anime tradition of watch every opener and closer no matter what.
Sure. It won't take you long to watch this thing, so it doesn't have to be that amazing to be like you could watch like 5 of these in the time it takes like watch one real anime episode. So you could watch this whole show in the time it takes to watch 2.5 episodes of another show.
What I would recommend is, one, if you're an anime fan, watch it because it's different. It's different from a lot of what you watch normally. It's one of those shows on Crunchyroll that almost no one's going to watch.
Yep. But for some reason, Crunchyroll keeps getting shows like this, which makes the Crunchyroll subscription kind of worth it.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I wouldn't get a Crunchyroll subscription to watch this, right? And it's like I only pay for Crunchyroll because there's like 3 or 4 shows I'm watching, right? And if that number goes down, I'll cancel and just use the free Crunchyroll again. But it's like if you're paying for it, because of other shows like Kill la Kill, you might as well watch these shows on there.
Yep. But what I would do if I were you is watch it because it's great. But if you have non-anime friends and you have a Halloween party, like a spooky Halloween party, you bust this shit out at night with all the lights off and make people watch a few of them. I guarantee you'll have some friends who will be legit scared by this.
Well, babies.
Yeah, as in a lot of people.
You'd be surprised how many people, it's like, you think, like, when you're a kid, scary movies are scary for no logical reason. When you're an adult, it's just like, whatever.
Well, when you're a kid, non-scary movies are sometimes really scary for no logical reason. Like Beetlejuice is a comedy, but a lot of kids, that is some scary-ass shit.
Yeah, right? So, I mean, there are kids who are even scared of shit like Sesame Street, the movie.
But I'll put it this way. This show, like I said, I'm not scared by media, but this show ratchets up the tension in a way that is palpable. It's very well presented horror. It's like a good storyteller telling you a good horror story.
It's good. It's not actually scary anyway.
That's not what I said at all.
I'm
You
very
keep harping on this.
surprised. I'm very surprised because you're a sissy. I'm surprised on the internet.
I didn't say I was scared by it. You're
How many
completely
people
misinterpreting.
on the that I see are actually sissies? Like you think like every adult could just watch scary movies, whatever. It's actually, I go and I see a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, I just can't watch any horror movies ever. It's like they're actually just scared. And it's like, whoa, really? There's like a good percentage of adults who are scared for reals. And it's like, wow, really? Wow.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.
So yeah, we're back from Anime Boston, and we used to give a full episode to every con we went to, but that was back when we did 4 shows a week. So if you think we're hurting for topics now, back then, yeah. But it's very rare that one PAX is significantly different enough from another PAX to warrant a whole show. Yep, so the only thing I want to say, this is kind of my news, is what was different, because there were some things that were different at this Anime Boston.
Sure, there's always at least something different.
Yep.